opponents, I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
Bill, there seems to be some controversy in your team with Matthew Judon's statement about macaroni and cheese. A lot of controversy today. How do you feel about macaroni and cheese as a side dish?
Yeah, I'm good.
You get
Bill, you feeling okay?
Great.
Here's something in your voice there.
Yeah, I'm good.
We just asked Hunter about Michael Winning's work at tight end. And he pointed out, when you get those two big guys together, Mike and Trent on the same side, that I think the way he put it was that's a sight to see. What are the advantages for your offense when you're able to get those guys together like that?
Yeah, they're big physical guys, no doubt about it. So yeah, again, all the things you do offensively are to try to gain an advantage on the defense, and if you can do that, then you probably want to do it, and if you can't, then you probably want to find something else.
Would both those guys kind of fit under the category of, that don't grow on trees types? I've heard you say that before about bigger bodied guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's not a lot of 300-pound guys walking around the street anyway. So 300, 350, whatever they are, yeah. Yeah, they're hard to find, sure.
What stands out to you about the Titans' offensive line? It seems like they've been together a while. Have good chemistry.
Yeah, I agree with that. They work well together. They've had a couple subs here and there, where Milan was out for a couple games. The right guard was out for a couple games. Brewer replaced him. Quisenberry missed a game, but for the most part they've been there and they've been pretty consistent. Certainly Saffold, has been a solid guy for him, left guard, and Lawan at left tackle, Jones at center. So, those two guys. But, we played against 4 of the 5 last year, or 2 years ago, whatever it was. So they work well together. They're a good run blocking line. Swain does a good job at tight end. He's not another lineman, but he's sort of another lineman. And they employ a fullback too, Carter Blasting game. So they get, different combinations in the running game, and they're all pretty effective.
Every week it seems like Byard's making a play,
Yeah.
more than one play. Is he someone like you have to?
No doubt. Yep. He's very productive. He's got a good nose for the ball. He's around the ball. He's good on disguises, and he's got good vision, good anticipation. And it's a really productive player.
How about the defensive line? The development of course, the last few years in particular, and them up front.
Yeah, well, I mean, Landry, Autry, those guys are really disruptive guys. Outside, Simmons, inside. Again, they're a very good fundamental team. It's not a lot of exotics. They give you different looks and all that, but they don't play a lot of different things. They just play them very well, and they're hard to block. The linebackers, fill their gaps well. They tackle well. Just a good, solid, sound, fundamental football team. They don't try to out gadget you and all that. They, keep you honest with a little pressure here and there, and mix in some blitz zones with their zones. But they're really just a good, solid, sound, fundamental team. But you got to stop Byard. Landry's a dynamic player, and Simmons is pushes the pocket in the middle, which really helps Landry on the edge, Autry on the edge, and they're all hard to block. So they do a good job.
Similarities built between what you'll see the Titans and what you guys saw on Thursday, just because of the heat.
There's some similarities.
Does that help with the preparation at all? Even offensively, at times it feels like you guys have seen a lot of these offenses that kind of are coming from a similar tree as well. So does that help as you move through a week?
Yeah, a little bit. I think it speeds up the communication process, and you can certainly relate something this week that you've talked about in a previous week, and players have a recall or a picture of it, what you're talking about quicker. Sure.
So, Cameron McGrone and Joshua Bledsoe out of practice. What did you observe from them just this year in terms of their work ethic to get to the point that they could practice? And
Yeah, they worked really hard. Worked really hard, and I know they're excited to be out there yesterday. It's good to see them out there. So, get them out there and see how it goes.
were they able to take part in meetings to maybe
Mhm.
help? Okay, so maybe that puts them in a little different spot than, let's say, someone coming in off the street.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they've done everything they can do. They're both coming off injuries that just didn't allow them to participate until this week.
Yesterday, Christian Barmore said that you guys talk pretty much daily and said that that's been a big factor in him playing as well as he has. Just what have you learned about him since you got him in the building here?
No, he tries very hard to do whatever you tell him to do. You just have to. It's different at this level, and there's different keys, different things to do in certain situations. But he's done a good job adapting to those, and if you tell him to try to do something, he definitely tries to do it. So I really appreciate that about him. He's gotten better on all 3 downs, and he's improving every day.
Is there anything that stands out about his personality kind of off the field? His teammates seem to appreciate his energy, and he called it goofiness yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he works hard. He's always goes hard. You never tell him to pick it up. He always goes at a good pace and works hard. He's got good energy. Loves football. Loves to play. And so, we got to enjoy that.
We were just talking to Kendrick, and he mentioned how he'd never been used as a ball carrier when he was in San Francisco. What about his skill set made you guys think that he could be productive in that role, and how's he been able to help you there this season?
I think he's improved. He's improved as a ball carrier. Several of our players have, which is good. But yeah, I mean, if you can get the ball to skill players and they can make yards on their own, that's it's a great thing. So, so it's not all air yards. It can be run after catch and breaking a tackle or getting in open space to gain extra yardage and catch and run plays, things like that. So, he's done a good job of that, and I think he continues to get better. So.
Bill, how much does involving receivers in your run game help when you're running between the tackles, or it's south more or less with your backs? Right? I'm stating the obvious, but how do they complement one another?
Well, when the DBs come up to try to support the run, and you go in there and block them, then that's hopefully we can get 1-for-1 and create space for the runner. But also there's the opportunities to play action and get space in the defense when the linebackers and the safeties come toward the line of scrimmage, and sometimes that slows down their secondary support, on future plays. Not always. Some players come about the same every time, but some guys become more cautious and more concerned about the passing game, and hopefully we can use those blocks to look the same as the pass routes, and then either slow down the run force or run past them and play action routes.
Bill, some of the players here today have said, a message from the coaching staff is that the season gets even more important after Thanksgiving. Is that a message that you relate to them, and why is that important to emphasize?
I mean, I talk to the players every day, so there's always a message there. So, every game is important. It's a big game for us, so I'm going to put everything we have into this one and try to be ready to go on Sunday.
Bill, when a team like the Titans did yesterday makes 13 transactions, and some of those are going to affect the personnel you'll see on Sunday, how do you balance, introducing all the players your players might see versus obviously overloading them with new information that was new as of yesterday?
Well, I mean, we have to keep up with all the players that are eligible and potentially going to show up on the field. I think you've got to prepare your team for that eventuality. Some of them will, some of them won't. That's out of our control. And honestly, Tennessee might not know for sure exactly who's going to. I mean, that's certainly the way it is for me. There's times where I don't know who's going to play until sometime Sunday morning or pregame workouts. So Well, it is what it is. I mean, it's like that every week in the NFL. I mean, there are always guys that are maybe are going to play, maybe they're not. And, you know, teams make roster moves pretty regularly and put guys on the practice squad. You know, like Tate, who could play like Stills did for New Orleans, or he could not. I mean, I don't know. So we'll have to be ready for him and you know, see how it goes during the game, try to figure it out. I mean, we have a pretty good idea what some of those guys can do. Played against some of them in the past, but how Tennessee chooses to use them, I mean, that's, you know, we won't know that until game time.
What sort of difference does A.J. Brown make if he's on the field and right?
Yeah, he's an outstanding player. He's, you know, really hard to tackle, big guy, huge target, aggressively gets the ball, good route runner, vertical routes, stuff over the middle, catch and run plays, hard to tackle, strong kid. There's a lot to like about him.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
all right, thank you.
Coach Vrabel is going to be.
Beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.